Hey guys, I very frequently set up an Ubuntu instance and I wanted to go over the top 5 things I do every single time I set up a new Ubuntu server. Before I begin, I wanted to mention this documentation is available on my website, so if you're curious about individual commands I run and stuff, it's linked down in the description below. Before I begin, I wanted to mention that all of this stuff is automatically done on all of my VMs using Cloud Init. Basically, Cloud Init is a program that allows you to automatically deploy a bunch of changes to an Ubuntu VM when it's being set up. So part of my VM creation process that's automated is it'll pull the Cloud Init file that is generated with the username, password, SSH settings, VM settings, that kind of stuff. It'll pull all of that automatically from my server and make sure that the VM is completely ready to go. So I'm going to manually show you everything in this video, but I wanted to let you know it is an option. If you are curious, you can use something called Cloud Init to set up a VM automatically. Okay, so the first thing I like to do is localization. This is involving like setting the time zone, that kind of thing. So to set the time zone, what you want to do is you want to say sudo dpkg-reconfigure tz data. And you can click enter and type in your password. And then you're going to go find your time zone. It's pretty simple, but I like having everything on the same time. It's easier to read logs. And I realized I could use UTC time for everything, but I found that having it my exact time zone is more easy to read because I don't have to convert between UTC and my time zone. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to show you is sudo without a password. Pretty much any VM that you use from a cloud provider like DigitalOcean, Azure, Oracle, Phoenix Snap, all of those typically don't require you to use a sudo password every time you issue a sudo command. I find that really convenient, although it's less secure. There are solutions to make that more secure, but I find it very convenient because I don't have to continue typing in my password, and I can have like an auto-generated random password for all my VMs, so I never even have to worry about entering in the password. So we're going to run sudo space vi sudo, click enter, and we're going to scroll down to the bottom. I'm going to do this right before the include directory. I'm going to make 2 spaces there. I'm going to do +, your username. You're going to say all equals, parentheses, all, all, close parentheses, no password, space, all. And notice how password is spelled differently. You're going to do Control X, Y, and enter, and it will never ask you for your password again once you're logged in. Okay, so the next thing I like to do when setting up a new Ubuntu instance is make it fully up to date. Although my ISOs are pulled every 15 minutes to an hour, I think, they still seem to have out-of-date packages, and it makes it a lot easier to have everything up to date when you are setting things up. So I'm going to show you a command you can run to fully update everything and automatically remove unneeded packages. So we're going to say sudo apt update -y and sudo apt upgrade -y and sudo apt full -upgrade -y and sudo apt auto remove -y. So the -y just says I don't want any intervention, just run the command, get it done. And yeah, so I'm going to run this command now. It's going to fully update the VM. As you can see, there are 20 packages that can be upgraded, so it's going to actually upgrade them right here, as you can see. So we're going to let that complete, and we're going to move on to our next step. Okay, now that our VM is up to date, I want to show you some of the packages I like to normally install. This is step number 4. So I just pasted in a list of utilities I like. I'm going to go through each one of them really quickly, but this is the next step that I like to do. I just like to install all of my commands that I typically use. So first we have Redis tools. This just allows the VM to connect to my Redis database if I want. Speedtest CLI, it's like speedtest.net, but in the CLI. Bridge utils is basically something that allows you to create bridge interfaces on NetPlan. nfs-common, it lets you connect to NFS servers. iperf3 lets you do speed test over your network. Traceroute follows the path that your internet goes through, so if you wanted to trace route a certain IP, it shows you the exact path through the internet it takes to get there. btop is kind of like htop, but it's a little nicer in my opinion. Samba, it's an SMB server. Zip, unzip, self-explanatory. Resolve-conf is what WireGuard uses for DNS. WireGuard tools, it's like the supplementary package for WireGuard. We have QEMU-KVM, it just supports KVM things, and same for all of these. These are all just KVM virtualization things that you don't necessarily need, but I like to have on the VM just in case I ever want them. And finally, screen lets you run commands in the background, and you can like resume the screen and stuff. It's kind of like a virtual monitor, I guess, or a screen that you can connect to and disconnect from to monitor the progress of a command that you're running. So I'm going to click enter, and it's going to install all of them. Okay, and the fifth thing I want to show you is UFW Firewall. That's what I use for all of my firewalls on all my VMs. It's just built right in, so I can say sudo UFW status. It's going to say it's disabled or inactive. I'm going to sudo UFW allow SSH and sudo UFW enable Y enter. And this is going to actually enable the firewall on this VM. So currently if I do sudo UFW status, it's only allowing port 22, which is SSH, coming into this VM. So if you wanted to run a web server or something on the VM, you can say sudo UFW allow 80/TCP. Click enter. Say sudo UFW allow 443-TCP, sudo UFW reload, and sudo UFW status. As you can see, we are allowing ports 22, 80, and 443 on this VM. It's a pain to set up and manage, but it's an important thing to have on the VM. That way you know exactly what's allowed into it. Just makes it a little more secure. So that's all for this video. Thank you for watching. If you have anything you want to add, you think I should do when I set up a new VM, let me know. I think this is some good steps that you can follow to set up a new VM. But like I said, if you have anything to add, make sure to let me know. Leave a comment down below. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.